having some booty was more important than drinking water. I like booty.
Johnson went on to tell our crew how he used to satisfy his sexual desires, especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
When I see one, and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, "You come here." I say, "I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right?" And it was always yes.
Johnson also had a warning for the new generation of inmates. They might be asking for trouble from old-timers.
You know, they got this thing where they sag their pants past their butt. It's a style, they call it some sort of a gangster style. You know, it's sexy to us, right? And see, but they weren't prepared for this, right? So you sag your pants in her, man, somebody be up in your butt, you know, and it just says so.
Johnson even let the lockup crew know that when he was in his prime, they wouldn't be safe from his advantage.
Yo, Stephanie, what's going on?
Hey. Good evening.
Man, how you doing today?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Watch out now. Hey, hey, this video right here, I seen it, a few years, probably about a year and a half ago, and what brought this video up is, of course, the title of this series right here is Leadership Series, and then it's asking who's waiting on you. And, we can go two ways with this right here, with that question right there, who's waiting on you. But we're going to go from a leadership perspective.
Okay.
And so, because that's our series, the leadership. So, whenever we look at leadership, we want to say, how can we avoid going down there? They call this man, Fleece Johnson, they call him the booty warrior.
Booty warrior.
Booty warrior. And like I said, what really brought this topic up to me was I went to a basketball game last night. And every time I seen some guys walk by, they had their pants sagging. And I was just like, man, what is going on? And, it was like, I wonder if they ever seen this video right here on the reason why you shouldn't be sagging your pants. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of spurred this up. But like I said, it's going to get us into our series of leadership. And who is waiting on you? And we're going to spin that question around, not for the negative portion of it, but we're going to spin it around to the positive side. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the show. And this one right here, of course, if everybody don't know what you're looking at right now, is the Door to Expansion. I am your host, Maranthony Hubbard, and I have my co-host, Miss Stephanie Hollins Passmore. And, like we said, we own leadership. I am the founder of Speak to My Heart Life Coaching. And if you don't know what a life coach is, it's just basically somebody that's going to be here to hold you accountable for all the actions that you might have, or whatever goals that you might have. And of course, we don't want you to end up like with the booty warrior. So I'm trying to find out what positive actions or goals do you have in your life so I can help you on. And I'll let Miss Stephanie introduce herself.
Hey there, Stephanie Hollins Passmore. I'm the solo practitioner for The Narrative Shift, LLC, counseling and consultation. I am a marriage and family therapist, mental health counselor here in the Pacific Northwest. I cater to a diverse population of individuals, families, kiddos. But that's just what I do. But I am a mom, a wife, somebody's wife, and a leader. I believe that I'm having some influence and impact, being transformational with the individuals that I come in contact with. So that's me.
Right on, then. So as we jump into this thing of leadership, the biggest thing I think when we start off leadership, a week and a half ago, we started talking about being self-serving and a servant leader and what those things entail. But whenever we first start looking at and talk about leadership, I think it's two questions that we must ask ourselves. The first one is, what is my vision? And then the second one is, how can I make it happen? And as far as leadership go, if you don't have a vision, how can you lead anybody? Because me as a person who's supposed to be following you, the first thing I'm gonna say is, if this person don't have a vision on where we need to be going, I don't need to follow this person. And
yeah, so you're asking, what is the vision and how can you make it happen?
And how can you make that vision happen?
Okay.
And for me,
with the vision, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like, how do we get to creating a vision? Where's that vision coming from? Where's that? Is it hindsight? Is it future oriented? Like, where's that vision coming from?
So I would hope the vision is coming from something you setting off in the future. Yet again, we go back to goals and stuff like that. So, and if it's in an organization, then yes, you know, y'all have a mission that you need to complete, and you need to expound on that mission to show people, hey, this is why we're doing what we're doing. If it's a family orientation, of course, if you're a parent, grandparent, or whomever, you're trying to make sure that you put the best citizen out there possible. So, and yet again, that's where the kind of video goes, you know, kind of allude to. And, hey, let's go and put caveats out there.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you're a good parent or a bad parent. If your child is out there sagging their pants, if you got a hot girl, a hot boy out there, I'm not blaming it on the parents. But I will say, in the aspect of leadership, the behavior has to be modeled. You provide a vision for whomever, for your child, and then you model that behavior. That's how I look at it. So if I'm out here doing some hot boy, hot girls type stuff, and then I'm trying to figure out what's the purpose, why my kid is doing the same thing, to me it's kind of up there in the air, and I can basically point to you. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, a vision comes from a belief system. It's personal biases. It's what you have a passion for. It's truly what you believe in. So the problem comes in having everyone else align with that vision. You know, everybody's not going to have buy-in to your vision. Nobody's going to have the foresight that you do. So it takes more than just modeling the behavior. It's a way of engaging other people to those behaviors. You have to give people perspective.
Okay, and so that kind of leads to that second question is, how can I make it happen? So as a leader, and I'm trying to get you to buy into my scheme or to whatever I'm trying to do, that's what leadership, to me, that's where the leadership comes from. Now, I know last week we put it in the show that some people are born with leadership qualities, some people learn it, some people found how it doesn't work for other people. So, you know, I understand that there's a dichotomy that's there that you have to show, look, this is what it is. But at the same time, as a true leader, to me, I think that you need to find some kind of way to say, hey, look, this is the path, and this is at the end, as an end result, this is what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, it's a path goal, right? A path goal. So you state the path, you state the goal, and then you give direction and instruction, right? So leadership is just not a thought process. It's very action oriented.
Oh, easy.
You know, and I don't think you have to be this most charismatic person. Is that a word? Charismatic person to be this great leader. It doesn't really naturally you don't have to have this such great talent. It's all about saying what you're going to do and follow through.
And backing it up.
Yeah.
So I got, 2 weeks ago, I put in our community page, I asked this question right here. Would you call someone a successful leader? Or why would you call someone a successful leader? Because as a leader, as somebody who's leading people, you always want that. Hold up, let me go back. You always trying to do something. If you trying to be a successful leader, you always trying to do something that's enhancing somebody else. And then once you get a comment like that as being a successful person, to me, it does a lot of good for me. You don't never look for the thanks or the kudos or anything like that. But when somebody just out of the blue say, hey, you know what, man, I remember back then, you really helped me out. And it was just like, dang, that's a pretty good compliment. You know what I'm saying? So, I asked this question of the audience, and one of the things they said, a successful leader is a person who is willing to listen, that has integrity and transparency, that leads with openness, understanding, and communication. I would agree with that. How about yourself?
Well, I want to like flip that wording, successful,
Okay.
to effective.
Okay.
Success looks different. Effectiveness looks different, but effectiveness to me is like when you actually can see that change measured, because success can be defined any type of way.
Yeah.
Right.
I would totally agree with that.
So an effective leader is someone who, yes, is willing to listen. They have some type of moral compassing. They do have this vulnerability to where they are able to like take in feedback, and that they're just not, they're actively listening. They have an altruistic view, like it's just not about me, it's about the whole, the group. So yeah, communication is key. And it's create an effective leader is creating, like we just said, pathways, helping others navigate unfamiliar territory. Yeah, it's creating vision for someone else. It's being transactional. It's transformational.
And to follow up with that first comment, this is the other portion they had. Also having motivation, consistently encouraging their staff employees to do their best. Being a leader comes with sacrifice and dedication, and a good leader adapts to all walks of life. Everyone doesn't come from the same cloth. And yet again, we go back from that learned behavior and that born behavior. Like I said, I kind of want to get away from the whole boss and subordinate type thing. I just want to look at a leader overall. And whenever I say a leader overall, that could mean in the household. Parents over their children. It could be the parishioners. Church staff, and then the people that they serve. I mean, I want to look at the whole thing of it. And even whenever you look at it that way, whenever you was talking about the vision, all those people need to have vision for the people that they lead. So, the first thing we always think of is, hey, as a leader, you work for me, and this is what you're gonna do. But whenever we reflect that back to the households and to the churches and to all the other things that's in life, even friendships, if I have a vision and if I shared it with you and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. And you'd be like, hey, you know what? I can support that, or maybe we can change it up. And as a successful leader or effective leader, I'm here to listen to you more than anything, instead of thinking you criticizing me and be like, oh, snap, I don't feel like dealing with this no more. So.
Well, when you were out at the basketball game and you saw all these young gentlemen walking around without a belt, like pants down below their waist. So did you yourself, or did you notice anyone say, son, can you pull your pants up?
I think that's what really got into me a little bit, was because it was on multiple occasions. It was a guy that was sitting in front of me, and I can tell he knew some of the people that was walking by, because he's an older guy. He was older than me, and he giving them daps and handshakes and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, hey man, why don't you say something to these kids? I don't know if you probably know them from school or anything like that, but apparently you do. But it's just like, hey man, let me pull you to the side, partner. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you reflect a positive attitude or reflection upon not only you, but your lineage, the people you come from. And I guess that's what I was trying to get to. But you know what? And I ain't trying to get political or anything like that, Stephanie, but I think I think that off the coast of California, because we ain't, they got all the shipping containers out there. Maybe all the belts are on the shipping containers, and they haven't came to the U.S. yet, and they just sitting out there, and people can't afford them. So I mean, maybe that's something. And then if that's the case, I got a few of them. I'll be happy to ship out to somebody. So if people out there, if y'all need a belt, y'all know somebody need a belt, please hit me up. I will try to get one to them as quick as possible because I want to do my part. And I'm quite sure a lot of people that will probably be like, well, why you didn't say nothing to them? Well, we know what type of world we in today. So I kind of held my peace. But
that's why that was a missed opportunity, because leadership is about being able to kind of just be direct and to kind of just say, hey, let me talk to you about your pants. Like, I don't know if these were young brothers that you were seeing. So, like, is this how we want to represent ourselves? Is this the best presentation of yourself to the world?
And
like,
it's
a courageous conversation.
It would have been great conversation. Like if I was sitting next to them, like I said, they were just walking by me or whatever, and maybe it would, like you said, probably would have been some good conversation just to say, hey man, you know what, man, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? But yet again, we understand the society that we're in today, and these little young boppers, they ready to spit fire regardless. So that's why I say anybody that's in my reach that I know I can probably affect or touch and talk to somebody, and I would say something to them easily.
Because that conversation could have not necessarily been about the pants, but just talk to them brothers about their future. Do they have vision for themselves? Hey, I just saw y'all. I just wanted to say, hey, young brother, you know what I'm saying? Because, in the work that we do, we have to meet people where they are.
True. But I also think that, you got to build rapport with people as well. And so, I mean, the way you came off and said something like that, it made perfect sense. And then you just kind of feed off them to find out, hey, are they really responding back to me, or are they just, just going to blow me off? So, I mean, that's a good little thing right there. I'm writing it down, putting it in the memory bank.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just a professional. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? We'll give you that.
Yeah.
Here's another comment that somebody had put on there. I don't think I've ever considered calling anyone a successful leader. And, we'll go back and switch that successful out of being an effective leader. And to me, whenever I seen that, whenever I read that, I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing for somebody to say something like that, because you would think all the people that you probably came in contact with over your years of how many years you've been living, whether it be a teacher, a parent, whatever, it's like, man, that hits hard.
Well, if you're not really understanding what leadership entails, and if you are surrounding yourself with individuals who just lack leadership, lack vision, lack passion, compassion, that's unfamiliar. So, of course, you may say, I don't think I've ever come in contact with anybody who has had any type of inspiration. We look at people change all the time.
Yeah.
That's leadership. Transition and change is leadership. We've seen someone with a change perspective. That's leadership. We don't really understand what that really looks like.
And I really wanted to go back and ask the person, with a comment like that, how has that hindered you, or has it hindered you at all? If somebody, and we go back to that topic, our topic, who is waiting on you? And and where the question comes from is, well, maybe I could have been that person that somebody needed at that time. So, like how you reflected and said, well, did you go and talk to these young people and ask if they have vision or a goal or anything like that? Right there, like you said, it was a missed opportunity for me to, indulge in these young people's lives. Yet again, I think it's a certain place and certain time for everything. And maybe at that particular time, you got a group of guys around there who just really ain't ready to talk like that. Yeah, okay then. But in a different situation, different time, I think it'd been perfect to bring some up like that.
And for that person that left the comment, like about not being able to, not recognizing someone as a successful leader, it's like, who's your circle?
Yeah.
Who are you allowing to be in your presence? Like, and do you not see yourself as someone who can be transactional or transformational?
And then that's why I say I really wish I would have reached back out to the person, because then I would have asked a question, something similar to that. Like, okay, then if that's the case, then what qualities do you have in your own self for somebody to look at and say, you're gonna be you can be successful. So I mean, that would have been something great right there. Let's see. So reading this book right here.
What you reading on?
This one right here is called The Soul of Leadership. And it's
Who
called,
is that by?
you know what? If I pronounce this person's name, I'm gonna mess it up so bad. But I'm gonna do it either way. It's called Deepak Chopra.
Okay.
So, and he actually broke down 7 critical factors in the fact of leading. And so one of them is being a protector, achiever, a team builder, a nurturer, innovator, transformer, and then they call it sage and seer. And then it says your role is pure light. You have to reach the highest state of awareness as a role model. You is sanely a purified soul. You persist by understanding human nature in any skies. You celebrate by uniting with the one. So, and then he's saying basically with them 7 qualities about yourself, that's the heart or the soul of leadership right there. And I read that, I was like, whenever we think about leadership, those are some of the qualities that you really look for within somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them little things that, I found quite interesting whenever doing my reading and stuff. So
Yeah, protector and nurturer. You have to have some truth telling in there too. Leaders are truth tellers. They're not going to allow for you just to. Leaders don't co-sign on everything that followership does or say.
Yeah. And so to break it down, I can break it down a little bit. So for protector, it say the role is a crisis manager. You show confidence and strength in that role right there. And then as an achiever, you're considered a motivator. You are, as a role model, you are the winner, the one who completes successfully. You walk the walk by bringing tangible rewards to the whole group, not just yourself. In the team building aspect, you are the negotiator in there. You convince the group that you support shared goals instead of rivalries and factions. The nurturer is a counselor. And as a role model, you express sympathy and understanding to anyone who comes to you in trouble or need. The innovator, your role is a catalyst. And as a role model, you encourage new ideas and show that you are comfortable with the unknown. In fact, it excites you. As a transformer, you are an inspirer. As a role model, you exemplify a higher calling, and your voice amplifies the inner voice that causes every person to be transformed. And then we'll go like I said, with the sage and seer, your role is pure light. And so, yeah, you showing people that there is some goodness within them, not only within you, but within themselves to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And as a role as a leader, that's what we try. That's what we are here to be, or that's what our role, or being a role model would be. So yet again, I think that was 2 weeks ago. One of my quotes to the, not to quote it exactly, but it was, "I can only give you as much as I know." So with that being said, if I don't have it within my own self, how can I give it? How can I give you something? So maybe it wasn't passed down, some of these different qualities. And of course, with these different qualities, you have to learn them, or yeah, it's a learned behavior more than anything.
Yeah, or just a natural talent too.
Natural talent.
Just
Yeah.
being there for someone, listening. A lot of times we're of influence and impact and we don't even realize it. We are inspiring and don't even realize it. But that's a lot of pressure on someone who calls themselves a leader to take on that.
But shouldn't everybody call themselves a leader?
It depends on what role you play. Like some people are just okay with just being a follower, or it's different types of leadership. That servant leadership, where you say, I can do all this in the background, be a background player. And so we don't necessarily have to be in the forefront or have a title. What you laughing at?
Megan, she said no. And I asked, shouldn't everybody consider themselves to be a leader? And yet again, I go back to, whenever I say leadership, I'm just not talking about like management type style leadership. I mean, think about it. How many people were prepared whenever they started having kids? I'm quite sure if I asked 100 people that, you probably get 2% be like, yeah, I was ready. I was born ready. Like, yeah. But you become a leader within your own house and you manage that. You learn it. Sometimes, like you said, some things are natural. It just comes to you. And then other things I've learned. Because what's the most common phrase is, this baby didn't come with no instructions on it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think everyone is possessive of leadership.
Yeah.
They may not have it down packed or like, with every role that they play, or how can I say that? They don't always find themselves successful or effective. But yet and still, I think everyone has the potential to possess leadership skill.
So, and this is just a little quick question just for you. Why would a person become a more effective leader? What do you think?
How?
Yeah.
Well, how can a person become more effective? They can become more effective when they become vulnerable. But let me go back. It's all back to you, knowing who you are, knowing your personal values, that moral compass, how ethical you are, knowing you, having your own vision for yourself. How can you motivate someone to go and grab something and to develop and to grow, and for them to be, transformational when you can't do that for yourself?
Hey, I wholeheartedly agree.
And identifying your fears, but also looking at your potential and the positives as well.
My biggest thing with that one right there is basically accepting feedback. There's so many people who get hurt whenever you give them certain type of feedback, and instead of using that feedback to grow upon, is You know, I tell the story in whenever I'm teaching my employment class. You know, I ask people how many people like being rejected, and of course nobody don't like being rejected. I said, but you know what? I found to be rejection when I was separated from the military to be one of them things that motivated me more. So like right now, I can go to my inbox, and all the times these jobs who said no to me, I put their stuff over in the file right there, and it motivated me more to say, okay, then what was it on this resume that maybe they didn't hire me for? What skills or whatever this was, and it made me transform to think, okay, then you know. And I always tell them, you got to think like an employer. So what if I look at myself? What do I need to have within myself to hire my own self? And once I did that, I started looking at it. I'm like, okay, then here, maybe I need to add this in here. Maybe I need to add that in there. So the rejection piece came easy for me in that instance. Now, do I like rejection? I'm like everybody else. No. So it all depends on what I'm being rejected for. But most of the time, it's just there to make me stronger. And, you know, I'll come up with a quote with that one too about being rejected.
Mhm.
But I had to think about that one though.
I was gonna say, you know, a lot of times people get butt hurt.
Here we go back to the booty warrior.
The booty warrior. But no, seriously, yeah. But you know, in those situations too, that rejection, like, don't look at it as like a rejection. Just look, your vision does not align. So regardless, it won't work out when visions don't align. So
Megan put on there, if she don't take rejection well, but I've gotten better at it with age. And Megan, I'm quite sure you probably can even agree with this. You know, I seen a couple of your TikTok videos you posted on there about with the candles and everything, how most people come in there and they be like, oh, well, how much is that? Oh, well, I can get this candle for this amount right here. You know, in a way, that's rejection. But at the same time, it's like, all right, then, yeah. And I think you put in the TikTok, you're like, well, if that's the case, you know, go ahead, move on. I'm not gonna be upset or mad that you didn't purchase my product. You know, everybody have a feeling. And yep, she put true in there. You know, everybody got their feeling on what quality or what they want to pay for. And that's a good thing.
that's a protective thing too, you know.
Yeah.
You know, protecting your peace, protecting what you stand for, your own vision. It's good to have those protective capacities when it comes to leadership. That's about nurturing yourself and your own vision. And that can be a way in nurturing someone else, you know, giving them that type of rejection or feedback or, you know.
So the little thing I was looking for is saying what looks like rejection might be direction, just because it's rejection could mean a different direction for you. And I wholeheartedly agree. And that was one of the main reasons that I started saving those rejection letters from those places, because what I did was, once I got my job, I started going back in there to find out if them jobs were still posted. And guess what? They were still posted. Why are they still posted? Maybe somebody could have took the job and said, you know what, the job ain't for me. And other people, I mean, for whatever reason, but I'll look at it and be like, you know what, that rejection right there set me up and put me in this whole new direction on where I'm going. So it just wasn't meant for me. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we start looking at rejection, that's what we need to look at. And as far as a leader go, I just get I ain't gonna say upset, but I get worried about people whenever they just start taking stuff personal. And be like, hey man, it's not personal. If somebody say no to you, it's okay. You know, move on. Find out why they're saying no. And then, or whatever comment they have, find out why. And maybe it's just something so small and minute, and maybe they don't know the vision. Because how many times do you want to go behind somebody and they ain't got no vision? Like you mentioned, if you ain't got no vision, why do I need to follow you? And so,
that's where you mess it up.
In the military, everybody, you know, the older leaders be like, I hate this generation. They always asking why. Well, you know, if they always asking why, maybe you haven't expressed the vision to them for them to understand the reason why they are doing something. So yet again, why are you going to put the blame on somebody else? Maybe look internal and say, hey, if I provide this information to you, you don't have to ask me why. You already know why we're doing this. Because
effective leadership is like actually making the vision plain, creating the imagery that goes with it, everything like Martin Luther King, his famous speech. Like they were saying, like, why was it so engaging? Because he kept talking about family value. He kept repeating, I have a dream. Like he was painting like a visual to get buy-in. And so part of effective leadership is actually making the vision plain and speak like from point A to the end point. You got to carry someone from the beginning to the end. They have to see the big picture.
And guess what? Sometimes you have to repeat that a few more times for people to understand it.
You got to repeat it throughout the whole process, over and over and over till it gets accomplished.
And that right there, I call putting it on repeat. And
for the ones in
for the ones in the back right there.
Yeah. And it's Fred Sanford say, you dummy.
You big old dummy.
You big old dummy. Because sometimes you gotta, open your mouth, Morse code, Braille, because everybody just don't get the message the same. You gotta look at your audience. You gotta like change up your approach.
See, that's a whole different show on leadership right there. Whenever we start talking about knowing your people and knowing, let's break it down real simple. As a mother, 3 kids. One kid would prefer whoopings. One kid would you can scream at them. One kid, you probably can just look at them, give them that look. But if you try to do the same tactic with each one of those kids, what's going to happen? The one person is going to be affected by it. The other two just like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know who you're dealing with, as an effective leader, are you really effective?
Well, as a mother, I got one that will stand her ground and fight back. I got that middle son that'll be like, you know what, I was wrong. I apologize. I'm gonna take the consequence. And then that youngest one who used to run in the bathroom, put all the dirty clothes as layering. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I'm outsmarting you.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not a leadership style. It's not a, one size fits all.
Yeah, the cookie cutter.
It's not cookie cutter, not at all. And it's not textbook either.
Yeah.
So you got to take a little bit from this approach and that approach and create your own style.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things. You got to have your own style with most of this stuff. And as much as I look at people on TV, very charismatic people, I read these books, I get all this other stuff and be like, man, I'll never probably say I want to be like this person, because I understand what they probably went through to get to where they are. But I'll be like, I wish I could have like a style sort of like that and be like, dang, you know what? That's pretty good right there. So, here's another little quote for you. You drown when you try to follow someone else's dreams. So, we're talking about that effective leadership portion right there. Hey, just because I have a dream, don't mean that you can have the same dream, but it might turn out a little bit different than what you expected, because the way we dreaming it is something totally different.
Well, the difference is preparation. So
preparation H.
Not for him.
I was going back to the beginning of the video.
Booty. Yeah, it's in preparation. You know, that's why others drown, because we don't have the same clear vision. You know, it's like that, what is that, walk on water moments. You got to keep your focus. And if not everyone shares the same vision, so they're going to get distracted by this and that. And you may have those blinders on where you straight ahead, very narrow path. Yeah. And they didn't prepare. I'm pretty sure with your vision, you had preparation and you had safety net or plan B. They didn't think of all that. Nor did they ask you about your strategy and plan.
I jumped right in the water.
You did what?
I jumped right in the water. No, I can't swim. But guess what? I can float, though.
I wouldn't go out with nobody who said they can't swim, because they can barely swim trying to save themselves. So they're not going to be watching out for me. So, yeah.
Well, y'all, let's we're gonna jump into another portion of the show right here. We're gonna start talking about this business time right here. So give us a second. Let me go ahead. All right, so our business time, this is the time whenever we ask people to put a link in for their businesses so we can kind of promote them a little bit here on the show. And people, I'm telling you right now, it is Christmas time. And I ain't trying to scoot over, Turkey Day or nothing like that. So please don't jump on me because of that. But I am just letting you know that as far as our economy go, they telling everybody to start shopping early. And so if you're waiting on them big sales, it might not happen this time. So being an effective leader, a mentor, and guide and coach, I'm just letting y'all know that now. So
thanks for the heads up.
Hey, looking out for you. So our first one up is Megan. She has been with us today, and her website is Monty Scented Candles. And as a person who have actually got a candle from her, I've enjoyed it. Smelled good. It works. It's effective. So, I want to just throw my shout out there to her. And then let me read a little thing she put in there. She's located in Ramstein, Germany. She sells scented soy wax items like container candles, pillow candles, and wax melts. And she actually formed this new little thing. It has like little bubbles on there. And then there's another one like as a woman figurine that she has, and it's like different molds of the female body that she does. I thought it was pretty nice, especially if I might get that to a couple people. I'm not putting no names out there because then they're gonna be like, oh man, I already know you're gonna get me. It's like Santa Claus type thing. But if you would like to order some of her candles or see some of her products, there's the website that's going across the screen right now. Our next person.
Oh, she said, I'm getting a guy, by the way. A figurine?
Huh?
She said.
Yeah, she said she's getting a guy by the way. So that means, yeah. So the mold that she'll have on there is gonna be one of a guy then. She's gonna maybe I'll be that'll be my figurine, the big pot belly guy.
Oh, I thought you were about modeling. I'll go say, I'm going to pass.
Said, tell her she need to have guys too. And I think so. How many bachelors are out there? They want they spot to smell good. So I think it's a good thing.
Oh, are we talking about bodies? Female bodies?
Yeah. In fact, I wish I could pull it up real quick. But I'll let you go to the website and check it out so you can see it. If not, hey Megan, since you on there, if you want to do a little screenshot and then take a picture of it, and then I can try to post it up there. Next, we got Miss Angel from Flourish and Hope Counseling. That's my cousin. She's a licensed professional counselor and life coach based out in Texas. She offers life coaching sessions worldwide. She helps women live more peaceful, courageous lives by teaching self-love, increasing self-confidence, and diminishing fear. She also has written a few books and journals, so please check her website as well. So just in case, if there's any women out there that might need some women counseling, and you're in the state of Texas, then hit her up. And then if you just need some counseling from somebody that's on the show, you can hit her up as well. We ain't gonna mention no names though.
It's just me. It's just me.
Also, we have Slay by Adriana. So if anybody is in the local Memphis area and you want to get slayed up with your nails, I mean with your eyebrows, your eyelashes, anything like that, please hit up Adriana. She is mobile, so she will be able to come to you if need be.
Have you been working on yours? You got a little arch going on with yours, little.
Hey, that's all natural. I get her. I'm gonna say this one. I say it proudly. I get it from my mama.
Get it from your mama.
Because I would hate to say I get it from my daddy. Hey, he might say something.
I just want to put a shout out. Hey, Dad.
Don't get him started. All right. Let's see. Also, we have a new person that's on here, and her name is Nakia. She has this Drink to Shrink company. I have Nakia. If you're watching, I'm drinking it right now. So it's what it is lose 5 pounds in 5 days. She'll send the stuff out to you. It can be pre-mixed, or you can mix it yourself. It has, I think she had like over 20-some flavors that she can send to you. And she also got a bunch of other little small things that's on the website as well. I know she'll be having a little fall sale coming up. So if you're interested in losing a little weight, go for it. Jump on her website and order some products from her. We're going to jump into a little people that got talk shows around here. So Eat, Laugh, and Hustle is a podcast that have conversations and confessions that are meant to help you be empowered, inspired, and transformed. Rika, she promised to embrace her truth, have authentic conversations and laughs to help refuel and refocus your mind, body, and business. She is also a business coach and virtual assistant. I met this young lady while we were in the Navy together many years ago. But looking at some of her content that she have on there, it had, as a man, it's supposed to be like for women, but even as a man, it had me giggling on some of the different things that they were talking about on there. That I just be like, okay then. I'm sharpening my tools from my toolbox, so I kind of understand what's going on in people's heads too. Mm-hmm. And then I got my homie, Mr. Carlos Henderson, right here. He's considered himself the 501 perspective changer. He has a show called Back to the Basics 2.0, and he streams on Facebook every Sunday at 3:30 Central Standard Time. He is a legally blind husband, father, and stand-up comedian whose purpose and passion is to expose the world of how not to trust your eyes, but trust in your vision. So we started talking about the vision thing, and I mean, what type of thing would you have whenever you start talking about somebody who has vision but don't have eyesight? So that right there just give you a little bit of this young man's knowledge and stuff. And Stephanie, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk about your man Dickie.
Oh yes, Rebrand Us. That is a show with Anthony Goodson, Kimberly Dow, The Ace Stinson, and Eric. Help me out, Eric.
I can't think of Eric's
last name, but what's for a quad?
Yeah.
A quad. So yes, check them out. Rebrand Us. I believe it is they come on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I think 5:30 p.m. Wednesdays, Central Standard Time. Yeah, so check them out. Really funny, really entertaining, informative as well. And I believe Kimberly Dow has her segment, Rebrand Her, so just showcasing women of color, specifically Black women. So, yeah,
So
check them out.
yeah, I mean, I like to I like to, put everybody else stuff out there too. I understand it. Every show has its own different content, so just want to make sure everybody else knows what's going on that's out there.
Yeah.
Megan, she did send me that stuff. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. All right, I'm gonna share my screen right here. So that's what the ladies look like right there in the candles. So a little different body style, body types, and everything. So whatever you want to, like you said, all women are goddess and should be celebrated. So no matter what it is that's about you that you want to celebrate. But yet again, like I said, I think that's one of them things that you don't see too often. So it's just like that might be a nice little present for somebody.
I can totally relate. you got all types of body types down to a T.
All right. So for me, I mean that's it for this show right here, Stephanie. Oh, I will let everybody know that we will not be on probably for the next 2 weeks. Next week I'll be traveling, and then the week after that it is a holiday weekend. So we want to make sure everybody enjoy their weekend, their holiday weekend with friends and family, and be thankful for what you have, no matter what it is. Sometimes it's the smallest things in the world that we need to be thankful for.
Here.
So, Miss Stephanie, what you got for us?
Not too much. Just word of advice: showing your ass will get you in some trouble. And like, what'd you call him? The booty muncher, the booty warrior. Maybe you can take from his leadership style. It's kind of like, when he wants something, he's direct with his approach. It's like, come here. I want you. Have that type of approach, that style, that mentality. Like, create a vision for yourself, what you want out of life, and just go for it. Be very direct.
All right. I'm glad that video served a whole bunch of purposes right there. And what I will leave everybody with is the greatest ideas are nothing more than daydreams until they are pushed into reality. So that means you actually have to do something to get that dream. So if you do have that vision, you got to work on that vision and do something else. And my last one. Ooh. There are three kinds of situations with people: those you can fix, those you put up with, and then those who you must walk away from. So basically, not everybody wants you. Not everybody needs you. You're not for everybody, and that's whenever we start talking about the rejection piece. Hey, and coaching and counseling, it's the same thing. We might not be for you, you might not be for us, but at the same time, there is somebody else out there. So, you got anything else for us?
No, I think we're wrapping up for tonight.
Yep. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has enjoyed this right here. And I think me personally, I really didn't get to the main point of the show. Who's waiting on you to be you? So, and what the whole title of the whole purpose of the premise of that title was, you need to find yourself. So find your vision and find out what exactly it is about you that somebody else might need from you. So if you need to be a better parent, find different ways to become a better parent so you can provide that information to somebody else. Because I know as far as myself, as far as the coaching go, if I'd have did this long time ago, how many people would I have been kind of affected a long time ago. And now that I just didn't realize, maybe if I'd have read some more, maybe I should have watched some more videos or whatever, maybe I could have helped somebody else along the way. And so that's where the whole premise came from with this show right here. So people, parents, I'm gonna jump back to the booty warrior. Parents, if you're a parent and you see your kid that's out there not wearing something correctly or doing something correctly, hey, step up, be a leader, and then show them the correct way, because they might need you. Hey, for the booty warrior to get you. Hell, I'm done. I'm done.
It's like water. It's like it. I just need it. Booty, 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 booty.
Hey, y'all, it's been another great show. Thank y'all for joining us. And guess what, y'all? We out of here.